And welcome everybody. We are back for another CBC podcast. Hopefully you guys are having a good week. Hopefully, you're playing video games. I don't know, catching up on TV shows or whatever you're doing. If you're here at the CBC, thank you for tuning in again for another podcast. Of course, if you're a member, make sure you guys go check out that members tab officially on Friday. So by the time this is out, it should be out because YouTube has finished processing it because we don't swear too much. So it passed processing. Avengers Endgame commentary is out, so you guys can go check that out, including a bunch of other topics that we've discussed in the past. They're all there for you guys to be able to check out, listen to, and all that. But of course, we're here for this week's show, which means we're going to talk about a bunch of topics from SDCC. Not officially canceled, still canceled, but we're going to get it a different way. A bunch of Marvel Studios projects in development, possible delays, and Amazon possibly looking to buy a theater chain, which is going to be interesting. That'll be an interesting topic of discussion. And, of course, I am your host, Armin. You guys can find me here every week doing this and whatever the hell else I do on the internet. I haven't been playing video games, so sorry to everybody that's been trying to add me to chats and everything. I just literally... I haven't done any video gaming. I'm feeling out of games right now for the week. So I'll pick it back up this week, and hopefully I'll see some of you guys on there. But of course, this week, joining me like always is Mitch.
What's up? You can find Mitch692 while cursing the Switch port of Final Fantasy VII because it froze on me last night.
Oh,
I mean, it's the Steam port, right?
I'm not entirely sure which one it is. All I know is I'm trying to grind the Chocobuckle enemy skill, and it froze in an hour and a half.
Because I think the PS4 version is the Steam version.
Yeah, didn't they because the original PS1 version, right? That's the ones that they re-released. They just upped the the old PC port and the Steam modern version. So it's
All I know is I'm thankful it's not the mobile port because that was bad. That was bad.
Well, that's every time I tell people I want to replay Knights of the Old Republic 1, they're like, yeah, well, they re-released it with better textures on iPhone and Android. I'm like, I ain't going to play that crap.
Yeah, no.
What? No, I want actual controls and, a console release, damn it. I'm stingy like that. But hey, speaking of video games and all that, Tristan plays some games and he's here with us.
Yep, I'm here. In Catch Me at Is J Chance. Usually I am doing more posting on Twitter than I usually do, but so far since everything, I've been trying to get some work in at the gym by waking up extra early because now I'm on the podcast more because I'm usually waking up about 5:30 to 6 o'clock in the morning.
AM? What the hell is that?
Yeah.
that exists.
Yeah, I've been going to sleep really early so far, and I'm waking up as soon as the sun comes up now.
And Tristan swore, so that's going to make this render a lot.
Oh no! See, they don't care if it's a few here or there.
Yeah,
but...
it's like if you do it constantly.
Yeah, if you do it constantly.
Because the last I heard, it was in the first third of the video, and it's
no, it's weird because now I've seen a lot of other content creators. They either swear sometimes and nothing happens, or they'll just bleep everything out and they'll still get hit.
I mean, I think there's actually, because they've been updating YouTube constantly around the clock 24/7 with new features. I saw a rumor that they can actually put it in there in a future update where if you swear, it'll auto-detect it and it'll just bleep it out itself, which is honestly going to be pretty handy if they ever implement that.
God.
Yeah, it's
Thank God. Let me do whatever I want, please.
Yeah. At one point, just release a video that's constant silence. It's they're just...
I can't think about not swearing and talk coherently at the same time.
That's how it goes. So with that in mind, we're just going to get into the show we have for you guys. So let's get into the topics. This has been something that's been rumored to be coming to the MCU in some form of fashion, one way or another, since 2012, and that's Nova in live action. Now, obviously, early on in the MCU, once Guardians was a success, we heard, look, the cosmic side of the MCU, that's the new focus. And now they're kind of going in all sorts of different directions, so I don't know what to really make of it, but clearly Nova is something that will happen, and we keep getting a new report. It seems like every 3 months, it's here's the status of Nova, and it's always, Nova's still in development. It's all right.
Yeah. So I think the last time we actually heard about it was near enough bang on a year ago.
Yeah.
Like almost the day a year ago, and then it's just like, oh yeah, it's in development. It's like, yeah, we knew that. So my reaction to this is the same as it was the last time.
Yeah. Oh, do you think anything's moved forward? Like,
I mean, they might have taken it from a name in a notebook to actually thinking about it a bit more. That's probably the extent of the development going on right now.
Like, it's kind of like in the circles we hang around with and some of the people we talk to online, you know, quote unquote, the stupid scoopers, right? As it's been, you know, called. It's like we hear things that are in development or scripts and all that. And like Ironheart, for example, like most of us in those circles have known about that script going around for years now. Because Nova, everybody I talk to, nobody's even heard of a script that's like being in the early stages. So honestly, I still think it's quite a ways off.
Oh like, yeah. This is way off.
Yeah,
definitely way off.
Like, what would you say? I would say probably at this point, late Phase 5, maybe. Like,
I mean, we don't know what Phase 5 is really.
Yeah,
we know a few things, but at this point, it's like who even knows?
Right.
With everything going on, what everything's gonna look like at this point. So
exactly.
Late Phase 5 would probably make more sense, given everything going on.
I mean, if I was to guess Phase 5, it's going to be like Phase 4 and 3 and 2 before it. Few established things, so more Captain Marvel, more Black Panther. But then you're going to toss in, obviously, we know Fantastic Four, X-Men, Wolverine. You toss a Nova in there. That's a pretty good, you know, money maker. Like, yeah, it's not as big as the other ones, but you roll that out of Captain Marvel 2 or something, which has been a rumor that that's where he's going to appear. It's like, I could see that as a good kickstart into the future, you know, like, okay, here's Nova, you've got him after 20 years of development, so it is what it is. Now,
got a full 20 years, damn.
Right? Do you think, though, Disney Plus her movie?
See, at this point, who knows? Before there's an obvious definition between it. It's like, oh, Marvel Studios project. It's like, cool, it's clearly a movie.
Yeah.
Marvel Entertainment project, cool, it's clearly a TV show. And that same thing is like, it could be either one. Yeah. I'd imagine a movie, because he leads quite nicely into an Annihilators, which is a really nice replacement for Guardians. So you'd want your big cosmic team in the movies, but it could be either or. Well, it could be both, for all we know.
That's true. I mean, I would personally love it if we got, you know, Ryder in the movie side and Sam on the Disney Plus side. Like, that'd be kind of really cool. It's like, oh, two different Novas coexisting in different mediums. All right. Like,
yeah. That's two vastly different Novas.
Exactly. So, you know, you can span that out. And you mentioned the Annihilators, which I think, you know, that's obviously I'm a fanboy of the Annihilators. Just look at that entire team. Like, plus that's Surfer on it. So, of course, I have to be a, you know, giant fanboy of it. But I think you mentioned Guardians in there. I don't think Guardians ends with 3. Like, I think that's going to exist forever. Like,
I mean, it could quite easily, but at least we know James Gunn has said this is the last movie with this team in it.
Yeah.
So maybe they're obviously not going to change the Avengers name to something different. Like, they could have a new Avengers, but you still got that name there. So maybe they just have the Annihilators be the Guardians. It would still make sense. It's just the same team, different name, but
yeah.
You know, at the same time, why not have both? No.
That's true as well. I mean, they realistically could. It could work. Well, I mean, if we're getting to the point where we're getting 4 to 5 MCU films a year, I mean, like, okay, like,
especially if they could make like the big team up movies, all be like Avengers, so they're big, massive tentpoles. It's like, let's not have one like consistent $1 billion team up movie. Let's have 4.
Well, let's have one every 18 months. Oh my God. That would be
too much.
Yeah, it's like, let's drop one November and then a year and a half in May and then a year and a half in like August or something. Yeah, I think honestly that's probably the way they're going to have to go, because they are getting to that point where everything they put out is becoming a $1 billion name. It's like, So, yeah, it's kind of how it's going to go. And I mean, X-Men, obviously. The first X-Men is going to be probably the biggest X-Men film of all time, like easily when it comes to box office. So,
I mean, the rate they're going, people are going to forget what the X-Men are. because
They don't remember Cyclops.
Yeah, but they're not gonna like start even think. Well, they have obviously been thinking about it, but they're not gonna do it until New Mutants has been and gone. And that movie's like a perpetual spot on the ass.
Yeah.
Of release dates. It's just not going away.
They're trying to make people forget.
Oh yeah, but it's just like it's there. They have to put this movie out. Like, put it out, Disney.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, the future seems pretty good. Nova, multiple other projects. Hell, I mean, for all we know, do Nova and what's the Space X-Men? Is that the Starjammers? Am I? Yeah.
With I think was it Cyclops' dad?
Yes. Yo, I want that in a movie. Like space pirates? Hell yes. Like yes, just give me that. Like that's.
My only thing is that's kind of what the Guardians are, but at the same time, it's like, oh well, let's just have two.
True, it's like the Guardian Ravagers almost, like a perfect mashup of the two. Yeah.
I mean, you suppose you could just make the Starjammers an offshoot of Ravagers now.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Since Yondu's gone, we're doing our own thing. We're going to be Starjammers. I
mean, that could work. So yeah, I think people are always pretty vocal about Nova. They're like, they want them. I just want to see what Marvel Studios is honestly going to deliver. It's like, if Nova happens, I'll be happy. If he doesn't happen, there's plenty of other things that are coming that'll pretty much make people, forget about Nova. So either way.
But which one would you want? Because we know, I'd imagine they're clearly leaning more on the Richard Rider side because he was going to be the one in Infinity War and Endgame.
Yep. Yeah.
So that's probably that's the one I'd want to start with anyway.
So here's the thing. I'm going to say something controversial. They're going to give us Richard Rider, but he's actually going to have a character.
No, Richard Rider has a character. Come on now.
He's kind of boring.
Don't do the man. Don't do the man.
He's kind of like Hal Jordan. He has a character, really but he's boring. He's boring.
I could not accept that. I cannot accept that.
No. What is his character though? Anytime I read him, he's just like stoic hard. Like I'm just like, oh.
He's nah. You've read bad Nova then.
Maybe that might be it, because I'm not the biggest fan of Richard Rider. Because I was the first time I ever picked him up, I can't remember where it was. I can't recall. I did like him in Annihilators, but that's completely different, So
that's the best run or best time for anything Cosmic Marvel. So.
That's true. I don't know. I think they would do a MCU style where they use the basis, but they make him a little bit more however Feige envisions him to be, which honestly works for me. Just like, do whatever you will. It's probably going to be like Richard Rider, though. It just makes sense. Like, he's got more name value than Sam Alexander. Just how it is.
Because my thing is Nova is a legacy character, and so far their legacy character's been very 50-50.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes we get the legacy, sometimes we don't. I don't know. Other times it's just like, oh, here is the newer version, but here the older one is literally old, like Ant-Man. And so I wouldn't want an Ant-Man situation.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Not yet, yeah.
Give Ryder 3 movies at least.
Right, I want to see him grow into the Ant-Man situation.
Yeah.
Kind of like Iron Boy Jr., just like that.
Oh.
It's the same thing. That's why we got him. Picking up the mantle.
Oh no.
That's sarcasm, people. That's sarcasm. So I think we're all agreed. Richard Rider. Yeah. I mean.
Yeah. I want old Dick Rider. Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody will agree with that. So there we go. So we're not going to have to wait 30 hours in line to see Jason Momoa's left toe from 300 feet away at San Diego Comic-Con, but. What are they doing? A digital San Diego Comic-Con? How's this going to work? I haven't even read up on it because I'm like, this is just stupid. Like,
I think that's all. I think that's all they've announced. It's just like,
there really isn't anything else.
Oh, well, that's.
See, I like the idea. The problem is, I think it was WonderCon recently did this, but it wasn't like what people wanted. It was more like exhibitor stuff.
Right.
It's like, no, people want the stuff they want. They want like the panels. They want like a Feige struggling on his stream.
That's the problem, because they have to like plan all this out and get everything lined up, and so far from what we've seen, a lot of these companies either don't have the time to do it or don't think it through, and it fails horribly.
And
And they'll
also,
say, "We'll do better next time."
and also, you mentioned that the big problem is they're doing this because now they have to, and they never had a thing in place to try to do it the right way before to offer this as a solution. Like, if you look back at E3, right? Back in the mid 2000s, you tune into G4 TV and you watched E3, and that was that. But then other websites like Game Trailers came in. They're like, what if we set up a hub there and then we stream and we bring stuff in and you don't have to watch G4? And like, it evolved to the point today where the conferences are live and everything is just instant and you can interact on a stream and all that. These comic places, they wanted you to pay this big money to get there, and they relied on Marvel Studios renting out Hall H and paying $5 million for a small amount of floor space. What incentive now does Marvel Studios have to do anything like that, where they could literally be like, hey, Disney Plus, that week, Kevin Feige will release a little 30-minute, here's what's coming to Marvel Studios, and it will drive traffic to them. Like,
right,
I
here's
just
the
don't
thing.
get it.
They don't, like, Disney Plus doesn't have as big a reach as like a YouTube.
No, of course not.
So if you're going to stream it, they're obviously going to stream on YouTube. So if you have it on there, you're going to get more people looking at you. That's the incentive. And especially with 2 Marvel shows coming out fairly soon,
Yeah.
I don't see why you wouldn't do it.
I mean, because technically they do have a Model 2 kind of take after for us. Whether you like it or not, Blizzard does the BlizzardCon online, and they offer goodies if you watch it streamed, like either be like costumes or demos early, stuff like that. But for the most part, no one's taken that and evolved it to them being the forefront of doing things streamed.
Yeah. Would they be stupid enough to charge people to watch something?
No.
Not the first one, because no.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I think if they were going to charge it, they would have had something. Well, you would have heard about it by now.
Right. I would hope so.
That would be my hope. That you would have heard about it by now.
I think because even like the first BlizzCon, they didn't charge anything. It was the consecutive ones is when they started charging it.
Right, once they got their footing. I remember that because I have a friend who goes to every single BlizzCon. Like, that's his thing. And yeah, it interests me because it's obviously it's a shift, but they're doing it out of necessity, not because they were planning it. And that's what kind of worries me. It's like, it's a first one. I think expectations will be super high. Like, people are going to, I've already seen people like on my, timeline share it being like, oh my God, I can't wait to see, the first footage of Pattinson's Batman revealed. I'm like, no. You are.
But here's the thing. No, it's the chance of it. I think it's a 50-50 chance of that happening. Because Comic-Con has a certain level of expectation. They know this. They were going to show it here anyway.
Yeah.
I know studios go to Comic-Con and they're like, well, we're doing this for Comic-Con, we don't want other people to see it. But it's such an unprecedented situation where I think you're going to get a bit of a backlash if you didn't do it. Whereas if you're not going to do it, what's the point? Everyone knows what Comic-Con is for.
Right.
Especially now,
especially
it's for
especially San Diego and New York. You don't go there for comics. You go there because it's Hollywood the exhibit. Like, that's it's
exactly. So I think I'm firmly on the side of if they don't do it, they've screwed up. No, you have to. At this point, you have to do it. There's a certain level of expectation there. If you don't do it, it's not Comic-Con at home.
Yeah, that's true. And like, you can't just be like, it's going to be Comic-Con and you set up a camera like positioned at a virtual art rally or something. Like, it can't be something lame, right? Like, because you don't have the floor space, you're not going to have all that. Maybe you have somebody interview Kevin Feige on a live stream, and he kind of talks about the last 12 years of the MCU or how he came up with it. And that's cool and all. But you'd want somewhere in there at the end of that interview for Kevin Feige to be like, oh, and speaking of that, you know how we're going to release our first wave of Marvel, Cinematic Universe Disney Plus shows? Check out this 2-minute sizzle reel. Cool. Like, okay, this was worth it. If it's just Kevin Feige sits there and then nothing comes with it, it's like, that's still great because we're going to get a bunch of info, but we know if it was live, we would have gotten that, like the reveal there. And obviously San Diego, the way they do it is you pay to be there to see it, but they don't release it publicly usually. So it's like they have to temper those expectations, it's just that's where I'm coming at with it, because having gone to like 2 years ago, I think I went to like 14 comic conventions in 1 year. Like, yeah, it was ridiculous. And like I got to, moderate a couple panels, meet some celebrities, like the Supergirl cast and stuff, and they're great. But you can only do so much without having to show stuff, right? So it's like, it's interesting. I don't know how to approach it. Like, and obviously that's up to them, but I think people need to temper expectations, because I don't think they even know what they're doing, because obviously it's just been sprung on them. Come up with a solution now. Like that's daunting.
But it's like, why you haven't really necessarily got to change like your schedule that much for the streaming. So just do a bunch of pre-recorded videos. I don't give the flying toss if it's live or not. Like just line a bunch of videos. Go right. This time we're going to have this panel. Here you go. Here is like a Zoom recording or Skype recording of this panel. There you go. There's that for 20 minutes.
Because they can say these panels will be pre-recorded, but we'll be taking your questions. So send them in.
Yeah. And it's just like just do that, and even for the whole H one, just have Feige sitting there, trying to figure out like, oh, I've muted myself. What do I do?
Have Feige pull a Mark Cerny with fake crowd in front of him, and him just talking about Marvel Studios for an hour.
I mean, they can use the Sony one because they are buddy with Sony.
I mean, they can. He could also have like a fake Thanos throne in the background, or him sitting in the one.
Yeah.
Like with what do you mean a fake one? That's what he sits on. That's his office chair. That's legitimately his. He just sits there.
And the good thing is he can just send us our paycheck for praising him right there on the spot. One click of a button. So
exactly. You can do it by a super chat. Why not?
Oh man, hopefully I don't know. I think they should disable the super chat.
They should absolutely not have chat. Like chat should be dead. No, don't take any live questions. No, that's just a nightmare. You wouldn't even be able to see him because there'd be too many people watching. So.
Right. Yeah, no, I'm excited by this because this could be a big shift for what Comic-Cons are. But at the same time, I'm just a little... I don't know how they're going to do it their first time. Because, again, they haven't had, years to plan it. Like, for all the bad that we get for, the Game Awards, every year it's gone exponentially better and less cringy and more about, look, Jeff Keighley actually has some... interesting stuff to show off, where when it was on Spike TV, it was like Mikhail just making jokes about virginity and stuff. It's like, oh my God, please stop. Like, so it's gotten better in that term, and I don't want them to be like, look, San Diego Comic-Con is coming at you. We got our big host for the thing. Here's this guy who has no idea what he's talking about. It's like, oh God, you're already off on a bad foot. Like, that's what I'm afraid of, that they're trying to get the mainstream by getting somebody that has no idea what they're talking about to host the thing. It's like, oh, this is bad. Like, that's just kind of how I see it, because that's what the mentality is of, okay, put it online, and we need more eyes on it,
Get someone popular, they'll love it.
Yeah.
Like, doesn't always work that way.
I mean, they do that in the panels anyway, let's be honest.
True, but at least those people tend to at least know something about it. Like,
or at least, look it up so they can ask, like, real questions instead of just jokes all the time, and then you have the panel just looking at them.
Like, what are you talking about? And like, it does go like that, but overall, I think we're excited to see what this goes to. I think that's kind of the consensus here. Yeah, I want to
say. I'd say don't expect to see anything. I'd say personally, there's a high chance that you more than likely will, but I'm not expecting it.
Yeah.
Just as a pure prediction, it depends how far they've got. Mainly Marvel. Like if Falcon and Winter Soldier's done and they've decided to scrap the reshoots and the rest of the filming, you could probably get a trailer.
Oh God, yeah.
The week before, Rob Liefeld's going to announce that they're going to be doing Deadpool 3. You can thank him for it.
No, I mean Rob Liefeld can, just take a seat and shut up. Like, who gives a crap about Rob Liefeld? No.
Rob Liefeld, and that's it. So there you go.
And we can't even count that.
Marvel's Secret Warriors. I feel like I keep hearing about this, although I personally keep confusing it with New Warriors and whatever else is in development. So what's up with Secret Warriors now? What is the status of this thing?
Oh, I think this is what was supposed to be the ABC show.
Okay.
With that mostly new female lead. It would make sense. You've had S.H.I.E.L.D. going for, 7 years?
Yeah.
You've got an established lead. Why not spin it off into this? But there has been some things about Chloe Bennett reprising the role for something again. Mm-hmm. So it only would make sense that Secret Warriors is a thing. They didn't exactly do it in the show itself, so just why not make it its actual show? And if any humans are coming around, there you go.
That would be an interesting way to do it. Now, obviously, we know, like you said, the ABC thing that never came to happen. ABC said they're talking to Kevin Feige. There's no way they're putting on a Marvel Studios project on ABC, right? Like, that's why they cleaned house and canceled everything.
They could. There's no reason why. Because you could just say, they cleaned house and cancelled everything because that's what Jeff Loeb was doing.
True.
This would be purely Feige.
Yeah.
Anything now would be purely Feige. It wouldn't matter where it is. It would still be all under the same umbrella.
True. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I want to see what they could come up with Secret Warriors. But again, I feel like this is one of those things we keep hearing about so much that I don't even know what the hell it would be at this point and which direction they go in, and what's the difference from this to anything else in the MCU? What characters? There isn't a whole lot of info about any of this. It's
no, because yet again, I don't know how far in development it is. It could just very much be like Nova. It's moved from being a name in a notepad to trying to think of an idea.
Yeah.
No, it could very well be a case of we've got a team. We haven't announced the team, like the creative team, but we're going to start. We plan to film in January.
Mm-hmm.
It could be a case like that. We just don't know at this point. But
yeah, it's
Secret Warriors. If they go with the Hickman run or the Bendis/Hickman run, like the original one, there's enough interesting characters on there that you could make a show out of it. I want to say Machine Man was on there.
Huh.
I can't think.
Oh, which Machine Man?
Well, Aaron Stack's the only one.
That's where we, I don't know. Secret Warriors, I want to see more of these type of franchises, like the little, I guess less known is the way I would put this franchise. But at the same time, I want them to also focus on, bringing in some of the characters we've had established already, that who the hell knows what's up with them, right? So, what is going to happen with some of the S.H.I.E.L.D. characters? Are they ever going to appear anywhere again? What happens with Daredevil and all these characters? I would rather, if they need to shift focus, or if they're trying to figure out what moves forward next, if the choice is Secret Warriors or, more of the Defenders, I'd be I know which one I want more of. So it's why are they developing this while there's also other stuff they could focus on that fans clearly want? That's kind of my stance on it, and that's something I've seen a lot of people say. It's this thing is unsure. More Daredevil is a sure thing, though. So, see what I'm saying? I just don't know. Yeah. It's a little weird.
I think at this point they're going for a rapid expansion.
Yeah.
I don't think they want the Star Wars effect where everything's really small. So, there's this massive universe, but we're only ever going to focus on this one tiny bit of it.
Yeah.
No, it's so tiny, the wider thing is the Jedi are a myth. Well, then let's start going different places.
Right.
I think that's probably what they're trying to do. It's let's not just focus on, Captain America and Iron Man and the Avengers. Let's, this world is huge.
Yeah.
The galaxy's huge. Let's focus on as much of it as we can.
And
whether it's a good idea or not, I don't know about.
And also with that, a couple years ago, we were literally at a point where we had 3 or 2 to 3 Marvel shows a year on Netflix. Then we had the Hulu shows and ABC, and they were developing spin-offs, and like, you know, Marvel was starting to catch up with DC when it comes to terms like DC. If you're a DC fan, man, you can watch like 6, 7 shows a week. It's ridiculous, and like you're never running out of content. Now, whether you like the CW or not, you know, that'll define half of the content. But I want them to get to that type of point where I'm like, hey, look, this week I got this, and oh, there's 2 episodes this week, and I'm kind of hopeful
I think that's
that
what
they
they
can
want.
do that.
I'm pretty certain that's the way they're going. You should look at just how the shows, like just the ones we have that announced. So, you know, we were starting off with Falcon and Winter Soldier, then you got a couple of months, and then it's WandaVision. But then from WandaVision, it's kind of like, right, well, you got Hawkeye, you got Moon Knight, you got Miss Marvel, you got She-Hulk. And it's just like, well, there's like 5 shows in 1 year.
Yeah.
You know? It's crazy. Obviously, that's not going to happen now because of everything. Well,
yeah.
It still might be able to happen that way, but, you know, that's you can see the direction they're going in. I also forgot What If, but yeah.
Yeah, you got What If. I mean, and do you think that also like something like this, hypothetically, because you know the whole Hulu thing and stuff, do you think they could go back to Hulu and be like, let's expand on here, or let's start a new initiative with some of these other characters? Because Hulu is naturally going to be a lot cheaper than Disney Plus to produce, because that's just the nature of the 2 services. I mean. You know, the budgetary reasons. Like,
well, there's been talks, or there's a rumor at the minute. I should say there's been talk that Ghost Rider's back in the game. Not that I think he ever left. Like, the table
definitely not.
Right, something Ghost Rider, and Ghost Rider's a perfect fit for Hulu.
Yes, he is.
That whole Midnight Suns thing. You know, you could bring Doctor Strange in over to Hulu as well, just for the Midnight Suns show or whatever. Like, it's a perfect spot for it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's probably the best bet they do. You know, you have even if Disney Plus is relegated to like having like 3 shows a year, and Hulu has 3, and ABC has 3 or whatever, you know, it's still 9 shows a year.
See, that's the point I want them to get to, where there's constant content coming out, all set in a universe, you know, looked over by Kevin Feige. So it's like, I haven't seen Hellstrom, nobody has, but
I don't think anyone ever will.
Right? It's like, I would love to see...
Unless that's what Comic-Con at Home is going to be. It's just Hellstrom the entire season for free.
And nobody would tune in either. It'd be like, what the hell is this?
Just like, most disliked video on YouTube.
Oh. And like, honestly, you know, that's what I want. I like the independent styles. Like, I understand the Disney Plus side is going to be like, we're bringing the movie to you every week, 6 weeks straight, 3 times a year. It's like, okay, that's awesome. But I really appreciate the ABC side of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. where they're like, look, this isn't the movie side, and the strengths we're playing to is character development and slowly expanding the mythos without having the movie bombastic, you know, over the top. Like, I like that aspect of it.
It's the comic model on a big scale, isn't it?
Exactly.
You know, the comics rely heavily on the quote whales that just consume everything.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of you and me, or most of the people listening, really.
Yeah.
You know, you're going to consume anything, but you know, if you have it on ABC, you've got a completely different audience you're aiming for there. You know, you can make that the smaller stories like in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or like Moon Girl or whatever you're going to want to do. So you know, you haven't got to watch everything to keep keep up and be a fan of everything. It's like, right, well, this is the bit I like. I'm just going to stay over here. Hulu's, you know, the Marvel Max or whatever it is, Marvel Nights. Like, that's, you know, I don't like the Avengers thing. I don't like the small independent bit down here. But I kind of like the idea of an Avengers thing. Let's go to Hulu and watch Midnight Suns or whatever. You know,
right.
You play it off like that.
And like, you know, I've talked about it plenty on here, and most people who listen to this podcast know I'm a fan of the street level characters way more in Marvel and DC. So to me, it's like, if Hulu, and, you know, hypothetically saying, let's say a year and a half from now, we get Daredevil back, and it's Daredevil, the Man Without Fear. It's a softish reboot, but they bring back a majority of the cast and everything. Like, Hulu is the perfect outlet as opposed to Disney Plus or something like that, right? It's like, I want to see that type of focus on Hulu. ABC do the all-around, like, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. style or something, then Disney Plus, the bigger stuff, and connect it all in some sort of way, because they will be able to now.
Yeah, you know, it's all under one roof. It's all under the same contract. They haven't got to worry about anything. So you just go that, right, well, it's not going to happen. It's just a pure example everyone goes for. You know, right, we want Tom Holland on ABC.
Right. Yep.
There you go. He's over there. Well, we want Daredevil in the movies. Cool. He's over there. You can have like your small, and even you could do when you do a big event, like if Infinity War hadn't happened yet, and they've had like 3 shows a year on each platform, you could have that thread permeate through everything.
Exactly.
And make it far bigger than it. How do you go bigger than Infinity War? You do that.
Mm-hmm. That's what Secret Wars in 10 years from now is for.
I'd go a bit more than 10 years from now.
Oh, that's true, yeah. Because you want to get a couple yeah. Well, I guess we'll find out. Hopefully they'll bring Cloak and Dagger back. That's all I'm saying.
Please.
Make them appear somewhere. And the Runaways. I loved Runaways.
Just put Cloak and Dagger in Spider-Man 3. It makes the most sense.
It does.
It doesn't have to be the freeform version. I love them dearly. It doesn't have to be that. It makes the most sense for those to be in that movie.
But honestly, it could be the freeform version because...
It could very well be the freeform version.
It'd be easy to explain. I mean, they did it in Runaways in like 10 minutes to explain who the characters are. You're like, oh, I can never have seen Cloak and Dagger, but I know everything about them. Like, all right.
Well, I've still yet to even start season 3 of that show, so...
It's so good.
I have it all recorded on my Skybox. I'm just not... It's that typical, it's been cancelled, I just don't care anymore.
That was me with Jessica Jones. I was like, well, I don't need to tune in. It's been cancelled. All right. Yeah,
that series was great, though.
One day, if she's ever announced to return to the MCU, I shall check it out.
Oh, dear.
So with Disney Plus, obviously there's Mandalorian. There's plenty more Marvel Studios content coming at us. So... what's up with the delays, expected timetable, and all that? Because things are obviously looking a little different for the future, I would say. Let's just put it like that.
Right. Well, they had that investors earnings call, whatever you want to call it, a week or so ago. 2 weeks ago. I can't remember.
Yeah, recently.
My time frame is that Marvel timescale now. I have no idea if it was 5 or 15 years ago. It could be whatever it is. It's both at the same time. But in that, Bob Chapek, or Chapek, however you want to pronounce his damn name, said The Mandalorian it finished filming right before, it's being edited on, it's not going to have a delay. So that's still going to come out when it was going to come out, which kind of shows that they're still clearly working on these shows. And they also said that post-production, like VFX stuff, is still happening.
Good.
Which... we've heard that WandaVision is like 98% complete, so they're obviously working on everything. They've said it themselves. So the question is, it's like, well, what's gonna? Do we switch around shows? Because they've got to do something with these.
They do. It puts them in an interesting position, right? Because every single service that's coming out, like HBO Max is launching. But even they had to be like, well, projects that would have been in development by now, those ain't happening. So, like, HBO Max is going to be more barren than anything out there because they literally have nothing. Like, they have Doom Patrol Season 2 and a couple other things, and that's really it. So, everybody's going to be looking at that interesting lack of content, period. And, yeah, do you shift things around? Do you, like, jump around with releases of episodes? It's interesting. It really puts them in an interesting position that everybody's like, well, I mean, what's the first year of Disney Plus going to look like with this whole thing happening? Like
I say, because they could easily salvage it. I know. I can't remember his name. Do you play Winter Soldier?
Sebastian Stan.
That's the one. He said, like, despite saying don't quote me on this, and then everyone quoting him on it, that he thinks that they had 2 to 3 weeks left to film it.
Yeah.
For Falcon and Winter Soldier. We don't know what that was. I know some people are really pushing the idea that it's a massive amount. It was all really important stuff. And it's like, I can't imagine that to be.
It sounded like their last 2 weeks were going to be in the Czech Republic. That's what it seems to be lining up with, and if that's true, okay, Czech Republic can be used as a double for many other countries, which is what they do, so again, we don't know the extent of it, but there is the possibility where they could, or there's also the possibility where they could use, as it's been suggested, go use that Mandalorian tech and shoot with smaller crews and play around with your, strengths and finish shooting it on a big old stage that can in real time render backgrounds. And again, this is kind of the wave of the future, so I'm willing to believe, we're still going to get these shows somewhat on time. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if Falcon and Winter Soldier gets bumped back like a month, and that's it. Like,
yeah.
September.
It's like, because like, let's just say it comes out the original date. That means this whole rumor about them rewriting plot isn't true.
Yep.
Because there's the rumor that it's involving Mad Bum or some kind of epidemic or pandemic. And obviously, very unfortunate time if it was true. But then if that's the case, that's not going to happen.
Also, that rumor comes from the fact that Mad Bomb was going to be the plot to the third Cap movie anyway. So they were like trying to recycle that. And it's like, again, we don't know how true that is. And, it could be a thing. But then again, fine. It is what it is. Mad Bomb was a thing in the comics. So, and if they're going to have to reshoot an entire thing, that would mean restructuring the entire series.
Exactly. That's why I never believed it. You can't just rewrite a plot point like that without doing the entire show, and they're not going to redo the entire show. That was never a question, and I thought anyone believing that thing was
it's unbelievable to say the least. Like, and again, fine. Let's say it is the Mad Bomb thing. Okay. Detonation, New York, zombie people, riots. Okay, whatever. I get the plot. I get it. They're kind of attacking each other. Fine. Well, I get it. You can draw some of the parallels. Oh no. What? Come on. Like, are you really gonna dig into it that deep? Like,
it's no different to when the Punisher was supposed to come out and they delayed it because there was a shooting in America.
Exactly.
They didn't just suddenly go, "Oh, we're gonna have to rewrite this." It's like, no, you delay it slightly. You then put it out because you can't change it. You're not no one's going to spend that amount of money to rewrite. You've got to pay the script writers. You then got to redo all the contracts and everything. It's a hassle. It's too much. It was never going to happen. But and that's if it even was in there. We don't know if it's Mad Bum or not.
Exactly.
It could be anything at this point.
And
yeah.
And with that in mind, I mean, you also look at Star Wars, right? What's up with Star Wars? Because they have I want to say at least 78 TV shows in development on Disney Plus. At least that I might be lowballing that one. I'm not sure, but legit, they were supposed to start production of 4 TV shows. So what's up with Star Wars now? Like what?
We don't know. Luckily for Star Wars, it's kind of worked in their favor because the whole Cassian Andor and Kenobi series were getting rewritten anyway. So it's only a good thing for that. Everything else, who knows? I don't even think they know at this point.
No, honestly, it sounds like nobody's really aware of what's happening. And
I think the only thing that's safe to say is WandaVision is in a good spot. It doesn't, if it is 90% finished, which it sounded like it is, then cool, great. We can get that early, or we can get that in the same time frame. That's great. Cap, Winter Soldier, and Falcon. Maybe it can come out and they're reshuffling things around and working what they have. Cool. It could come out whenever. And Mandalorian was finished. Cool. It's going to come out in the same spot. This year, I think it's probably safe.
And that's the thing, this year you're safe. Mandalorian is still going to come out around the same time period. So late November, December, we're getting Mando Season 2. And the good thing is, by the time they're back into production, they'll be right on track to release Mando Season 3 for the same time frame next year. So it sounds like they're in a
hopefully.
Yeah, it sounds like they're on a good roll with at least Mandalorian. But when you look at the other ones, Obi-Wan, Cassian Andor, whatever the other series in development is, because they haven't really specified what it's going to be. It's just something new with a female lead.
And so I'm pretty certain it's safe to say it's both Ahsoka, or however you pronounce her name, and Afra.
Yeah.
I think that's safe to say it's those two.
Yeah, and I mean, Mandalorian, they said Season 2 and 3 are going to lead into spin-offs because they believe there's strength to these characters. So, honestly, it's probably looking like the next 2 years of Star Wars is going to be just Mando keeping the TV series, and then suddenly come 2.5, 3 years from now, we're literally going to be doing like 2 to 3 series a year, which is, that's a good output considering a new trilogy is going to start and all that.
And it's also rumored that Mando season 2 sets up the next cartoon, which you can work from a cartoon at any time, at any point. So that's going to be on track. Yeah. It's purely the live action ones. We know Hawkeye's supposed to start soon. Same with like Miss Marvel and all that. Hawkeye's still got to cast his other Hawkeye.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of hard to do that right now. You could still do it, but it's a bit like, But it's an interesting spot. I don't know how many delays. I can't imagine it being that long, really.
Yeah. No, I think
there's going to be a period where it's be like, it's a bit barren. But
I'm gonna say something that a lot of people have kind of echoed, but in a negative light. But I'm echoing it in a positive light. The best thing happening to Star Wars is the fact everything is not moving forward right now at once.
Because I absolutely agree.
They got assessment time, and they got time to really refine everything and get back on footing, and hopefully, win back every version of the fans besides a minority. Because I will say, because I've seen it, yes, there's a split fan base with the last 2 core films. Again, it is what it is. I know people that absolutely love them. I know people that hate them. I know people that also love the prequels, that hate the prequels. Same with the originals, because everybody has their own generation. The best thing happening to Star Wars right now is nothing is happening besides Mando, and then suddenly, in a span of a year, they'll have multiple new TV series and a Taika film and possibly another trilogy starting, so we don't know if that's Taika's thing. It sounds like Star Wars is honestly in a great position with these delays because they got time to come back and win everybody over with like almost a soft reboot in quotation marks, like soft reboot the plan for Star Wars, and that really excites me.
Yeah. Or you could say like a reinvention of what Star Wars is and can be.
Right.
Because that's kind of what Mando did anyway. But I know people are kind of expecting WandaVision to get pushed back because of its Doctor Strange 2 connection. And I can understand why. Yeah. But at the same time, why would you? Why would you sit on a show when you have a potential drought of content?
Yep.
That's done. It doesn't make sense. It's only a plot point. We had Loki in Asgard for how many years before we got anything on that? And even then, it was kind of cool. Yeah, he's done with that. We're just going to completely glaze over it.
Right.
We spent 10 years building up 2 Avengers movies.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how far. It's not like you're going to struggle to rewatch it because it's going to be right there.
Exactly. And at the same time, you mentioned that. It's like I'm looking at the whole other thing of Mando and Star Wars as well, like in the same light. There's rumors that they're possibly setting up something Boba Fett spin-off for Mando.
Oh, please, no.
And I'm just like, dude, that would take Mando complete. Like, no, look at it. Why? I don't know.
It would feel really redundant.
Oh,
it's like, well, the it would be kind of funny because the Mandalorian was the Boba Fett movie and then became arguably the better product because who cares about Boba Fett?
Yep. Yep.
And it's like, let's bring in Boba Fett to what should have been his movie in the first place to spin them out. It's like,
yeah.
Just kill Boba Fett again. Double tap.
I mean, you say that and someone put Jango Fett.
Yeah, well, that's just a funny mistake.
Well, that's
technically it's not wrong.
Yeah, technically, yeah.
Unless they were going for that, he had the better looking armor, I guess.
I think that's probably what it was. It's more to make it look in line with what Mando has himself. But
yeah,
it's whatever. It was funny. It's either a mistake or an intentional joke. But
let's talk about Amazon. Possibly buying up AMC. Boy, that's pretty big.
This is an interesting.
It's really weird. From reports, it's like it could either go bad or good.
Yeah.
Because wouldn't this be a monopoly?
I mean,
you're
making
it's not
Disney.
You're distributing your own product. You can't do that, can you?
It's really weird because from what people were saying, it's like if Amazon does buy this, they could go up or down by 25 billion. So if it goes wrong, Amazon can lose or gain 50 AMC theaters every day.
Oof.
But also,
Yeah.
Amazon.
I mean, let's be honest. Those theaters are going to be going every day in a minute anyway. So what's like?
But also, Amazon losing is pocket change. Like, to them, 50.
Yeah.
Like, to them, that's nothing. Like, what it would cost.
So isn't the guy who owns Amazon looking to become a trillionaire soon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what does he care about?
I don't know, it's just like, but if it does go well, then other chains are going to get a little bit worried because they can supply all the AMCs with their products, or use their Amazon Prime membership for special deals and stuff to get people to go to their theaters.
And then, not to mention the on-demand aspect of it, where Amazon could be like, no, if you saw the movie here, we have a link to your Amazon account and you can get it cheaper video on demand before it's available anywhere else, because that would be their goal. And at the same time, if you remember, there was rumors, probably within the last year, I would say, I don't know, time is skewed, but remember, Amazon was also looking to pick up film studios, and Sony was one of the ones being rumored. So, and honestly, that's still kind of in discussion from what I understand. So there's a possibility in the next couple of years, Amazon buying up theater chains and Sony, because then they would have all these production houses and IPs that they would be picking up, and that's honestly quite a power play. And right now, if Amazon can come in and buy AMC when they're struggling, and they've wanted to buy a theater chain regardless before this whole thing happened, I don't see why they wouldn't be buying them. Why wouldn't you just toss your, wallet down, being like, can anybody top this? Didn't think so. Let's do it, right? Like, it's kind of how I think it's gonna go. Whether I like it or not.
I wouldn't be surprised if other studios are looking at buying theater chains as well.
Oh.
Like Disney being like, yeah, we'll help out, or quote help out. No, we'll snatch you up, like, I don't know, like Cinemark or whatever it's called, like a lower one, like just help people out.
Yeah,
because it's a case of like on demand is viable. I think it's. I know people like this whole idea of being like, oh, well, everyone's at home. It's like, yeah, well, if everyone's not got enough time, they're going to watch on demand.
Right,
make more money that way.
It's just like another avenue to get them into the ecosystem.
Like studios like the box office. VOD isn't proven to make $1 billion yet. You're scared. They need to have something out there to try to make $1 billion, but it's not proven to that extent yet. Whereas theaters and cinemas are, so they kind of want and need those to stay around. So like buying them up, it's going to be like a pretty. Big shift.
The way I look at it is, let's say hypothetically, if Disney was also, because they were also rumored, could Disney be buying a theater chain, whatever. Let's say if Disney was to pick one up, right? They would also incentivize you to go to their theater chain. So let's say they pick up like Cinemark or whatever, right? Hey, you guys, are you a member of Disney Plus? Cool. Do you want to see the first 2 episodes of Mando back to back a week early as a member?
That's exactly what I was thinking.
That is so much money, mate, because you got a Star Wars sucker like me. I'll be there for every Star Wars premiere. I don't care. So it's like, I don't care if it's the thing I'll see in a week, it's
do you want 30 extra minutes of Avengers Endgame? Go to Cinemark.
Exactly.
That's where it's headed.
Like, that's...
Oh, man,
do you want the Snyder Cut?
Oh, yeah.
You just set off every algorithm red. Oh, man, the Rogue One alarm is going off right now. Forrest Whitaker is twitching right now. Oh no!
Just imagine on how many Mandalorian popcorn buckets.
Oh Jesus!
The helmet literally is a popcorn bucket. It prints money.
That's true.
Why haven't we got this already, Disney? Come on.
Yeah.
And make it wearable.
Yeah.
Make it washable and make it wearable. I don't want
just slap limited edition. They'll sell out.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like where we're at. The future.
And also, if sorry to interrupt there. If studios start buying theaters, then guess who's not got anything to stand in the way of day and date releases?
Yep, that's what I was about to say. This is it. Like, and it's interesting to see that we're slowly moving into the Blade Runner style corporations. 3 dudes are gonna own everything on this planet.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we've got our first trillionaire now, so
Yeah.
like just so, as long as you don't kill me, so I don't care.
Yeah.
Like just beam it into my brain, do whatever. I can't fight it. I'm never gonna have that much money.
I can't wait to go to Bezos theater chain to eat my Bezos corn while watching the Bezos Snyder cut. Yeah, it's gonna be hype.
So the Bezos cut, like excellent, sweet.
Oh man, this is sounding great.
Yeah.
While also taking my Bezos gummy bears to offer extra vitamin C or whatever the hell else Amazon sells. That's kind of what we're getting to. And you know, for one, it's like, okay, that's a scary future where like 3 to 4 corporations are running everything, but we're kind of enabling it as well. And I think that's kind of like where we're looking at, because Disney, you know, yes, they acquired Fox. Universal owns literally an entire cable company and half the TV channels you're paying for. Same with Warner Brothers. So,
or AT&T, really.
Yeah, AT&T, because they're own them now. So that's kind of where you're looking at everything going. And you know, it is what it is. Game companies are still around, but we know Amazon is developing video games, and they've been developing their own console on the side. So.
Yeah, I can't wait for Amazon's version of Stadia. Yeah.
I think Amazon is going to premiere their own Hero Arena shooter. That's going.
Oh, how original!
Yeah, it's going
Wow.
live on PC. I think this summer.
Wow, make something people will really give a crap about.
What? You're not excited for Bezos League? Come on.
League of Bezos. Yeah,
it's gonna be great.
Over Bezos or Bezos Watch.
You pre-order the new Shazam 2 Blu-ray. You get an exclusive skin available for Bezos. That sounds great. I'm all in. Oh man.
What if I want the Bezos 2 version?
Well, you gotta pay extra for the Bezos loot boxes. I mean, it's all rolled into the same thing. It's all feeding the same freaking ecosystem, which honestly, that's kind of what we're getting to. So. I don't know, like, I think we'll be seeing this expand, right? Like, if AMC is truly bought by Amazon, the other guys are going to want to jump in on this. And it's going to just trickle down into this exact thing. Because if Amazon gets approved to buy AMC, then Disney could just be like, oh, so why can't we own Cinemark or Regal or one of these?
You know, like, for AMC, all you got to do is change the A to Amazon. You're done.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. If Disney buys Cinemark, you have Cinemouse. They're done.
Yeah, all they gotta do is AMZ. There you go.
I don't know who Warner Brothers could get. I'm not entirely sure, but it's it's all falling into place. It all makes sense.
Well, the thing is, Warner Brothers, if they were smart, right? HBO Max, they could literally buy Amazon if they just released the Snyder Cut. Because I'm told the entire planet wants to watch that movie. They're all aware of it. They're just waiting. It's true. No.
But what theater chain could they have though?
All of them. The Snyder Cut is that powerful.
All right, but let's just say because it's not going to happen. No, we have to keep up the illusion that no one wants it. So
I can do that. I could definitely do that.
So who could they buy? We have Cinemouse. We have Amazon Movie Company. Or whatever the MC stands for on AMC, I don't know. I'm just guessing at the point.
Agriculture.
Okay. Agriculture.
I don't know. I'm not this versed in AMC's doings. Honestly, I mean, there are those international ones. That's like, you know.
Well, because here's the thing: AMC own Odeon, so that's that's one of our biggest ones. Regal's owned by Cineworld, I believe. So it's kind of internationally they all kind of own each other. It's like some movie studios.
Yeah. And then distribution rights and all that gets so conflicting. Like, hey, this movie is in America is distributed by freaking Paramount, but Europe it's distributed by the rival Warner Brothers. You're like, what? How does this even work?
Yeah, we've had that.
That always blows my mind.
Yeah. It's like the Avengers and Avengers Assemble. It's just like,
that was a weird scenario. Where it's like some areas you're like, why is there like 4 movie studios involved with the Avengers? What is happening? I don't even know. Like, That's kind of where we're at, though. So,
Yeah.
if Amazon buys them, this will be one of the biggest stories of all time. You can guarantee that because, oh boy, that'll be...
And day and date will definitely happen. I don't care what anyone says.
Oh.
It'll absolutely happen. Why would they not want that?
That would be within the press release, being like, and to our consumers, a benefit of Amazon Prime, go sign up now. Well,
right. I need Amazon to not only buy AMC, but to also buy Universal, just so AMC have to show Universal movies. While it's day and date. I don't care what the future holds beyond that. I want that future, just for the lol.
The Bezos gauntlet is growing with power. This is incredible. It's just, damn. With the snap of his fingers, he just makes it possible what AMC didn't want. There we go.
Do it. I mean, when you've got $1 trillion, who gives a crap?
Exactly.
It's game over. Game over. We've all lost. He's won. Just accept it.
It's true. And, well, I guess speaking of losing, if you made it to the end of this podcast, you lost. That's it.
Yes, that's exactly true.
That's true. You have found yourself in a life you
see.
want to be a part
this
of.
exact episode is an allegory for Bezos buying and owning everything.
Ooh, ooh.
You survived long enough to see it, but you've lost.
You've lost. You really lost. That's what we're telling you. And that's kind of It's also the Sony conundrum with films as well. So there's a lot of parallels to be drawn here.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Somehow Sony still puts out what they consider our films, but I don't know if anybody actually likes them. I mean, people see them, but
I mean, they're too busy desperately trying to be Marvel at the minute. It's like, hey, here's PlayStation Studios. Here's our new intro, which is literally just Marvel Studios.
Bro, who's that other studio as well that has the Marvel logo ripped off to a T? Like,
I can't remember.
Oh my god, I can't remember. Like, everybody turns to like, is that the Marvel logo? Like, everybody's doing the same thing now.
Yeah,
it's kind of sad. Like,
it's kind of funny. It's just like, I wonder if that was part of the Spider-Man deal. It's like, can we use your logo? Kind of.
Yeah.
Not that Marvel invented that, but they've obviously made
the funny thing about that is that when they did the Ratchet and Clank movie, there was a variation of that, so they just went all in at this point.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, now they have an actual established thing because, they're still going to be making movies under that damn brand, which...
What I don't know is everything now like just PlayStation Studios? Like, is there no longer a Naughty Dog?
No, it's just a new sub studio that all the first party titles and some second party titles will go under there.
So you're still gonna have like Naughty Dog?
Yeah. It's just that they're all under one big umbrella now.
Yeah. That's cool. That's fine.
I guess they're
sounds
trying
like, damn, is this the end?
Yeah, they're trying to be more coordinated, I guess. Which that's cool.
Can't wait for the Xbox version to be exactly the same, just the X.
Yeah, I mean, because I think it was one of the current worldwide studio head was from Guerrilla Games, and they're all trying to get all of them work together now because they're all sharing ideas and how they get their tech to work. They're all just trying to work together at this point.
Right.
That's cool. Fair enough.
I mean, it's smart. It's really smart of them because that it's shown it works. So.
You know what else would be smart? Ending this podcast right now.
That is true. I have to go to the bathroom really bad, and my internet's actually starting to finick out for whatever reason.
Well, yeah, because now you can give Twitch the kudos because now they have a timer at the bottom, so you know how long the podcasts are going.
Oh,
really?
Yeah.
I mean, they've had a timer up top, so I know how long it's been going.
Well, now for like people who are viewing it, they can see how long the stream has been going on now.
It's only taking them 10 years to get there.
Yeah. At least today, Microsoft, they'll have it in 20, so there you go.
Yeah, there you go.
So, I guess we'll see everybody next week. Hopefully you guys enjoy the show. Check out the members tab for the Avengers Endgame audio commentary, and we'll catch you all next week.